How to have a more fulfilling marriage this spring. So, I have a ritual that I do at the turn of each season that I've found sets me up for a more joy filled and love filled season in my marriage. And I call it the 10-10-10 challenge, and it only takes a few minutes. There's something about taking the time every few months to sit down with a journal and a latte and to get super clear about how I'm currently feeling and really honest about what it is that I want to experience. It helps me to be intentional about how I'm showing up in my marriage, and it helps me to be really present to my life and all of the beautiful moments that might otherwise go unnoticed by me or just go by in a blur. Not only has this ritual helped my marriage continue to deepen and evolve more and more over the years, it's also given me more of a zest for life and curiosity about what will unfold within our relationship and life together. So, hello and welcome to another episode of the Softening into Love podcast. I'm your host, Laura Amador, and I help wives who feel resentful, exhausted, and alone in their marriage break the overfunctioning cycle, reconnect with themselves, and restore deep emotional connection with their husbands. So, are you ready for a more rich and satisfying marriage this season? Let me share this ritual with you. So, you'll want to grab a pen and a paper and maybe make yourself a yummy drink. Step one is gratitude. I invite you to look back over the previous season and think of at least 10 things that you were grateful for about your husband. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in a marriage. What we focus on is always what grows. So when a wife trains her eye to look for what her husband is doing right instead of doing wrong, her brain literally begins filtering for more of it. And over time, she stops seeing a man who falls short and starts seeing a man who shows up, which changes how she feels, how she speaks to him, and how she responds to him. And that energy shift is something that husbands feel deeply and often begin to mirror back and reciprocate. So I'll start and share my 10 gratitudes just to give you some examples and show that this doesn't have to be big or hard or overwhelming. It can be small things, it can be simple, and it can be fun. So the first is that my husband shoveled all the snow, and we got a lot of it this year in Massachusetts, and we have a pretty long driveway. And on top of that, our snowblower broke. So I offered several times, I would have not minded at all to do it, but he kept saying, no, 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 stay inside with the kids, make hot cocoa, relax, I'll do it. And he did. He took care of all the snow in our driveway every single time it snowed this year. So that was amazing. And come to think of it, and this is going to be my number two, he's made sure that I've never had to touch a rake, a shovel, or a lawnmower. Basically, I just swing in the hammock, I read my book, I sip my latte, I watch the kids play, and I smell the flowers and listen to the birds, and I'm a backyard princess. So I love that. That's great. He also has built us a greenhouse in the backyard this spring. So he's already started planting all the seeds, which is actually my next gratitude that every spring, summer, and fall, we have a bunch of organic fruits and veggies that will feed us all through November. My next one is that he's teaching our 3, 5, and 8 year olds how to garden as well. So every day he takes them out there, they're in the sunshine, they're getting fresh air, they're getting their hands dirty and learning and participating in growing their own food, which is amazing. They watch these teeny tiny seeds sprout and then turn into a harvest. And it's so cute. In the summertime, they go out with their little baskets and fill them up with strawberries and raspberries and spinach and cucumbers. And it's just so much fun and they love it. My next one is that he's also taught them how to make homemade tortillas, which they love to make into different fun shapes. So we'll have like heart shaped tortillas and teeny tiny baby tortillas and massive tortillas. So they think that's really fun too. And it's less work for me. He cooks these out of this world delicious meals for us regularly. So several times a week, we have these delicious, delicious meals as a family, and it just feels like I have an in home chef, and it's awesome. My next gratitude is that I expressed a desire, this was back in February, to redecorate my office. you might remember that it used to be the walls were pink. He had built the office for me and surprised me with it. It suited me for a few years, but I was just in the mood for a change. I was in the mood for just a different look and feel. And so I expressed that desire. And the very next day, he was painting the walls for me and hauling out some of the cabinets that he'd been storing in here. And now it's just it feels so beautiful and so calming in here. I have my little bookshelf and a chair and my plants, and the walls are just this really soothing, beautiful color. And I just love, love, love being in here. And he did that for me. So super grateful. He's also really, really supportive of all of my self care, from brunches that I go on with my sisters and my friends to my daily exercise routine. And it's just so wonderful and so necessary with our four kids to have that support. And so I'm so grateful that I have that. And last but not least is that we cuddle up and watch something fun together every Saturday for our in-house date nights. And we're currently watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix. So let me know if you watch that show too. All right. So once you have created your list of 10 gratitudes, this is the bonus points. You'll want to tell your husband what you're grateful for. If you're brand new to this and it feels a little scary, you might want to just pick one or two to start. Or bonus points, go ahead and tell him all of them. Voicing gratitude out loud does something really, really beautiful. It makes your husband feel seen and appreciated, which is one of his deepest needs. Because a husband who feels appreciated is a man who's motivated to keep going, to keep showing up, and to keep doing more. So you're essentially watering the very things that you already love about him. Okay, so we just did gratitude for the previous season. Now, step two is to write down your vision for your marriage in this coming season. So I personally know it's time for me to do this ritual again because, truth be told, I've been feeling pretty tired and sluggish lately, which is not how I like to feel. And here's the thing, you cannot move towards something that you haven't defined. So many wives drift through seasons waiting to feel better, to feel closer, to feel more connected without ever stopping to name what it is that they actually want. So writing your vision down makes it real. It shifts you from passive to intentional. And intentionality is what separates a marriage that deepens over time from one that simply coexists. When you know how you want to feel, you start making choices that are aligned with that feeling, and your marriage begins to reflect it back to you. Now, your vision doesn't have to be complicated. It can be just one word or one feeling or even one sentence. Maybe you want to feel more playful with your husband this season. Maybe you want more peace in your home. Maybe you want to feel like teammates again. Whatever it is, write it down because you can't move towards something that you have not defined. My vision for this spring is to feel refreshed and blooming, which I know creates a much more passionate dynamic than when I'm feeling exhausted. Now, step three is to plan out your self care for this spring. This is the secret sauce to a playful and connected marriage. The more alive that I feel in my own life, the more he and everyone else around me that I care about leans in. I'm much more pleasant to be around when my cup is filled up with fun and interesting things. And I think the essence of life is not to remain static and allow our lives to feel stale, but to keep exploring the bounds of our interests, abilities, and hunger for learning and for fun. A wife who's living a life she loves brings warmth and lightness into her home, and that energy is what transforms a marriage. So, your list might look totally different than mine, and that's totally fine. So, I just want to say that naps count. They have been on my lists in the past. So does deep breathing. It doesn't have to be anything big or fancy, although it absolutely can be. It's just whatever you want and need to help you feel really happy and alive. That is what's going to deserve a place on your list. So I'll share my spring self care list. And again, hopefully just get the ideas rolling for you. Feel free to borrow as many as you like. But again, your list might look totally different than mine, and that's great too. So, my first is that I recently joined this club where they mail you a book every month of your choice. There's just nothing like getting lost in a good story and falling in love with the characters And getting my book mailed to me every month, it just makes me feel like it's always a special little gift and surprise coming for me. So I've been really, really enjoying that. Second is going to my monthly mom's night out. Need I say more? It's just so wonderful to relax and be with other adults and have adult conversation and hang out with other women, other moms, and and just connect in community and have delicious food. It's just amazing. I love it. My third one is sunrise walks with my dog. I love getting up early when it's just so quiet out there. There's not even a lot of cars on the road yet. It's just so quiet. You can hear the birds singing. The light is just so soft and beautiful. The air feels so fresh. Oh, I just love that time of day. Next is I do this little weighted Pilates routine. It's pretty short. It's like 20 minutes every day, but I really enjoy it. It's one of the highlights of my day. So I'm definitely keeping that this spring. My next is to learn to play the harmonica. And I also have had a ukulele for many years and an Irish tin whistle. So I kind of just play around with all of those instruments now and then. But the harmonica I've never tried before. So I'm really excited to mess around with it a little bit and learn to play. My next one is cooking healthy meals for my family. So it's interesting because I cook healthy meals for my family since going way back since I got married. So this isn't anything new, but I've never really enjoyed it before. So I decided, you know what? I want to actually have fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to make it like a little moment where I'm playing some nice music and maybe make myself a delicious iced tea or something just to make it fun, to make it relaxing instead of approaching it as if it's just a chore or something that has to get done, but actually treating it as a moment for myself too and having fun with it. Trying out some new recipes and maybe even getting some new cookbooks, just really making it fun. My next is reading the morning paper with a steaming cup of coffee. Oh, I've been doing this recently and it just feels so nice to read. There's the opinion section, there's the book review, there's all these different sections that are really fun and interesting. And it's just a really nice way to feel connected to the world and things going on outside, but not having it be something that I have to spiral into or that's an endless scroll, has a beginning and an end, and it's enjoyable. My next one is taking the kids out on fun outings. I try to do Saturday Fun Day with them every week, and we go and explore a new library or we go on a town picnic or whatever's going on locally. We're just always exploring and having these mini local adventures. So that's been really fun. My next one is going on hikes and having a jam session with my sisters, back to the learning harmonica. But the hike and the jam session would not happen at the same time, of course. This is just different things that I'd love to do with my sisters. And last but not least is journaling. Journaling is exactly what started this exercise, this practice, and it's what helps keep me grounded, grateful, and clear. So, when you do your list for yourself, your 10 self care ideas, self care items, don't hold back on this list. Write down everything that makes you feel like you, the things that make your eyes light up and your days feel full and satisfying and wonderful. The next part is, and this is so important, schedule it into your life. Do not let your beautiful list sit around collecting dust. Get out there and do the things on your list and have fun. Step 4 is to make a list of your desires. This is what would you love to do, experience, or have this spring? Desires are the cornerstone of a joyful marriage. Why? Because a husband feels successful when he can make his wife happy. But if she doesn't even know what she wants, then how will anyone else know that? The key to pure desires is that there are no heavy strings attached to them, no demands, and no expectations. They're held lightly. The difference feels something like this. A demand sounds like, we never go on dates and I need you to plan something. A desire sounds like, I would absolutely love to go out for a dinner and a movie. So it's the same want, but a totally different energy. One pushes him away and sounds kind of negative. The other one invites him. So you might think, if X happened, if your desire happened, it would add to my joy, but my joy is not dependent on it. Now, again, I'll share my 10 desires for this spring, and then I'll invite you to do your own. My first is to host a coffee and muffins play date at the park and to make some new mom friends. I'd also love a decorative pillow for my little white chair in the corner over here. Oh, I'd love some artwork and some lamps for my office as well. A few cute outfits for this spring that feel really feminine and fashionable. I'd also love to go out for dinner and a movie with my husband. So that example I just gave is actually one of mine. I'd love to go on Sunday morning hikes with my sister. I love being in nature and the outdoors, and I love chit chatting with my sister. So let's do it all together all at once. My next one is to have family game nights. I love, love, love just sitting around the table, laughing, having fun, and learning and playing different games. So fun. I'd also love to host people more regularly at my house. We have family friends that come over every Monday and we do a big cookout and it's awesome. I'd love, love, love to extend it and include some music and rotating guests that come every week and just have it be this really fun ritual where we engage more in community. I'd also love some instruments, and I know I've mentioned this a couple of times now. I mentioned wanting to learn the harmonica. I actually don't have one yet, so that is just a desire of mine. I would love a harmonica, and I think I'd also love some tambourines and drums and shakers for the kids so that they can join in the family jam session as well. I'd also love some fish and chips and a cliff walk in Newport, Rhode Island. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful there. They have these old, 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 beautiful mansions right on the water. It's just so beautiful. And last but not least, I'd love a glass of wine by the fire under the stars at night. And I think this just ties into that desire, that craving to be surrounded by community and music and delicious food. And so that just sounds like the bow on top of everything else. So I know you can probably tell I'm getting pretty excited already just brainstorming these and talking about them. And I hope that you'll feel excited about yours too. So once you've written your 10 pure desires, now you can start talking about them. And this part's so important. The universe has this really funny way of responding to a woman who knows what she wants. And your husband gets the very important information that he needs about what would add to your joy. So again, he can't add to your joy if he doesn't know, and if you don't know what exactly would do that. I find that there's something a little bit magical about doing this exercise too. I find that whenever I look back on my desires from the previous season, I'm always really beautifully surprised by how many of them really came true. It helps me just be really present and to make sure that my life isn't just happening to me, but I'm participating in it and setting it up to be really beautiful and fun and to experience the things that I want to experience. So I have a little bit of confession for you, and then I'll give you the summary of everything we talked about. If I'm being totally honest, I public journal this ritual every few months as a way of keeping myself accountable because I know that it really works. So this is basically happy marriage manifestation in action. Now, here's the quick summary for this challenge. This is your action steps. Once you've written out your lists, you'll want to thank your husband. Pick one or say them all, but make sure that your list doesn't just stay in your journal. You'll want to bring it out of your journal and into your marriage. So make sure that you thank your husband for whatever it is you feel grateful to him about. Number two is to plan your self care into your schedule. Make sure that you actually do it and it doesn't take a back seat or it doesn't fall to the bottom of your to do list. Make sure you prioritize your self care and really make this season a really fun, restful, relaxing, exciting, whatever you want it to be season. And third is to start vocalizing your pure desires without shame, without needing to back them up with logical reasons, and without expectations. You are worthy of having and expressing your desires. So, thank you so much for keeping me accountable. Now, it works both ways. I'm also happy to be your accountability buddy too. So, feel free to share your list with me. You can email me. I love, love, love to read them. So go ahead, grab that journal, make yourself something delicious, and give your marriage the gift of your most intentional, most alive, most joyful self this season because she's ready to bloom. Now, I have a free guide called 3 Steps to Reignite Connection in Your Marriage. You can find that in the description. It will be a really, really great jumpstart if you're new to this. And if this really resonated with you and you'd like to go deeper and transform your marriage with a guided, step by step process and my support, let's talk. The link to send me a message is in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, keep softening into love.